Good evening and welcome to Hell of a Show. And we're going to have a great time on here tonight. Let me know if you can see and hear me on here first and foremost, and then we will get things moving along. And if you can see and hear me, let's get those shares out there. We want to get those shares and get as many people involved in this because we've got a lot of information to go over on here. Now, first one in the show tonight is Mr. Noble. I guess they'll let just anyone on here. Well, yeah, pretty much so. Yes, definitely. I mean, we've let you on a few times too, so I mean, it happens. And of course, that is for my baby. We'll take care of that first and foremost on there as well. We have got Tom says anyone 12 times. Yes, Jim, remember 12 times. Yes. And Jack is here. Shawnee is here. Excellent. We've got quite a few people in here. This is great. And Jim, he's everywhere. You know this, not just in the comments. He is everywhere. All right, so apparently y'all can see and hear stuff on here, and oh, there's the bionic one. Oh crap, we're all here. Yes, exactly. John, appreciate that. That's what I was waiting for. All right, appreciate y'all all being here. So we got a hell of a show for you tonight and a hell of a guest coming into this. We went through the sponsor list and everything on there. I want to go ahead and bring up something very quickly on here because I am super excited about this. One of the sponsors that's on there is Moto Glass. And I've been telling you, be paying attention because we got some amazing stuff coming from them. Well, it came in. So first and foremost, let me introduce the DemoNation mug. First and foremost, this will be used on the shows for the hell of a show. And then on top of that, we also got the unscripted pint glass, which, yes, will have stuff in there that is not of your regular show quality, shall we say, since it is unscripted. So thank you, Moto Glass. These things came out amazing, and I cannot wait to see what else you've got on that. So, oh, they're already out there messing with stuff. All right. So before we get started and too much on here and y'all have too much fun in the audience, we're going to go ahead and bring the guest out here. Then y'all can have fun. So let me go ahead and introduce him out. This is our 12-time appearance of having him on the show. Jim, did you hear that okay? 12 times. 12 times he's been on here. And I don't think he's done yet. Let's go ahead and reintroduce Tom Hutchison.
I am the guest.
You've almost reached like the co-host status on 12 times.
I don't know if I can co-host myself. That doesn't. I don't think that works.
Hey, it's great to have you back on the show. It's always good to have you back on here. We got plenty to talk about tonight. Normally, I go ahead and give you the floor to go ahead and tell who you are and what you do and everything. But if anybody doesn't know what that is by now, they're not paying attention.
It's right here. This is what you need to know. Big Dog Inc. Just do it. Go look it up. You can look it up on Facebook. You can look it up on Twitter, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. Just look up Big Dog Inc. You'll find us.
Exactly. And like David says, the good guest. Yes.
That's correct.
Yes.
The good guest.
Justin Hunt's here. Welcome here, Justin. All right, so the first thing that I want to go ahead and get into is, of course, we've got a few things up here with Camp Rad Dog and everything. I know that's going to be some questions that are going to be going up on here. We're going to save that one for last. I want to go ahead and say that right now. So get your questions ready for Camp Rad Dog because we're going to be taking some of those toward the end of the show. But first, I want to go ahead and go through the business that we've got going right now, which is there is a launch that'll be happening very soon for the next Oz on Kickstarter. So we want to go ahead and talk about that one. So go ahead and let us know what's up with that one, Tom.
Yeah, a week from tomorrow. So next Wednesday, not tomorrow, next Wednesday, April 7th, we will be launching Oz, The Age of Ozma #2. It is, of course, Oz number 22 in the grand scheme of our numbering, but it's The Age of Ozma #2. It'll be launching next Wednesday night during the Doghouse. So we want you guys all to come join us on the Comic Book Shopping Network on Facebook. We do a live sales show every Wednesday night. So we're going to do a casual night that night since we're going to have our Kickstarter launch happening Wednesday night, which is different for us. Normally we do them on Saturday afternoons. We're going to do it Wednesday night, and we'll have some special stuff happening Wednesday night during the launch, which will be about 10:15 Eastern time.
Very nice. Definitely looking forward to that. Now, you just had the one, that happened just recently. You've got this one
Yep.
coming up, and then there's a continuation that you're doing throughout the year. So you got another one coming up, I believe you said in October, correct?
October will wrap up the Oz 10-year anniversary. Yeah. But what it'll be is the first issue is 20 pages. The second and third issues will be 40 pages. So you're essentially getting a complete 5-issue story arc in 3 Kickstarter campaigns.
Nice, very nice. Now, we've already seen what happened in the first Kickstarter, some of the people that we had involved in that. Can you talk about some of the artists or whatever that you'll have involved in this one coming up next week?
Yeah. The art team returns. It's Carlos Reno and Gat Melvin on the interiors. Carlos did the cover, of course, as well. Nia Rufino is back as always. Brian Peterson is doing a ridiculous set of covers. We're probably only going to have one for the launch because they're crazy, but that just means we'll use the other 2 for add-ons as we go through because we want to give Elenia plenty of time to color them up nice. So there will be a Brian when we launch, but be aware there will be more Brian for the campaign. Paolo Pantalena is back again. He did a cover for us in the first campaign. He is going crazy on Big Dog stuff right now, guys. Crazy. He's just like, he finishes one, he's like, okay, what's next? I'm like, god damn. Okay, let's do this. And he's like, okay, god damn, and he knocks it out. So yeah, Paolo's back. Pedro Perez is coming back. He did a whole bunch of stuff for Princesses versus Zombies. Pedro's doing his first Oz cover, which is fantastic. Oh my god, what's the list? Keith Garvey is on his first Oz cover. We'll have a little bit of a secret special happening with that we won't talk about right now, but just there's a secret trick to the Garvey cover. Just be aware, and we'll talk about that as we get a little closer to the campaign. There is a trick to it. What else? I don't have my list. I don't know where all my stuff is out in the shipping area because I've been shipping Critter all day long.
Now we do have a couple of covers that you sent over.
Yep, that is Pedro Perez right there. The Scarecrow cover. That is Pedro Perez knocking it out of the park. That is Paolo Pantalena right there doing our Country Girl. Brian Peterson did our Country Girl version in the first campaign. Everybody liked it, so I said, well, let's just make it a trend. So Paolo gets to do the Country Girl this time, and then when we do number 3, we'll have one more Country Girl. I don't know who it's going to be yet because we're many months out on lining that up, but we'll have a Country Girl 3rd issue come October as well. God, I'm trying to go down this list because I know I'm forgetting a couple of people. Oh, Carl Liversidge. Carl Liversidge is coming on to the campaign. His cover is almost done. It will be the first time this character has been on a cover. The character's first appearance actually happened in the TikTok miniseries. So this will be her return to the story and her first appearance on a cover as well. And in theory, all is working well. We should have a large guest star artist. I should know by tomorrow if this is going to work or not. Fingers crossed that it works. They say it's going to work. We'll announce him as soon as that is locked in because I don't want to tell anybody until I know it is locked in. But we will have it one way or another. It might be an add-on or it might be just a straight here's part of the launch. So it's a big one. So we're really excited to have him.
I mean, it sounds like you've got a lot of excitement, built up for this one as well, because like I said, you're already coming from one Kickstarter that already happened at the beginning of the year. You've got this one coming up now, and then you've got another one in October, and you're just keeping that excitement going and that momentum going with that, which is great.
Yeah, well, that's what we did with Penny for Your Soul, and it worked. It grew. And it's one of the things that, like last year, we couldn't really catch on to anything because we were just bouncing around all over the place. It was our 10-year anniversary, so we wanted to get a little bit of everything done, and we could never really build like we did with Penny from 1 to 7 and have that huge surge. But because we did Oz the previous year in 2019, when we launched again in January, we were basically just a year and a half removed. We had a huge response. So we had over 600 people for only the second time in our Kickstarter history. So they came out in droves. We had a huge response on that book. And so now hopefully we can maintain that with going from issue 1 to issue 2 to issue 3, and wrapping up this arc and kind of see some growth.
And it's interesting to see that. And like you said, you've got artists coming over that were on the first one already. You're going to add on a few more there. Chances are you're probably going to add on even more to finish it up, strong in October. It's just one of those things that it just keeps expanding, and you don't want to miss out on any of this going on, because I missed out on the penny whenever it went on. I got into BDI right after that, and I'm still kicking myself because I'm picking up pieces here, there, and yonder. But you want to get on these things on the Kickstarter and not miss the bus whenever it goes through, because once it's gone, chances are it's gone.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, all of our Kickstarters have been growing. Every time we do a book, regardless of what title it is, the next time we do one, it grows. Every single time, without fail. It has never failed. The follow-up issue has always done better than the previous issue. So we're already running into a lot of books on these Kickstarters that are either selling out or really, really close to selling out. And so whereas in the past few years, we might have had, 50 or 60 extras after a campaign, now our leftovers are like, 20 to 50 left over. So the leftovers start dwindling. And then when people, we just put up Princesses versus Zombies for the last, I don't know, couple of weeks on the Doghouse Kickstarter, not Kickstarter, Doghouse Comic Book Shopping Network show. And they just got scooped up because people didn't get those books during the campaign. But now all of a sudden, again, like I said, we had 20 or 30. Well, guess what? We just sold 10. So now we're down to 10 to 20, and they're just about gone on a lot of the stuff. So be part of the Kickstarters, because not only are you getting your books, but you're getting all the extra fun stuff too. You're getting trading cards and stickers. And one of the stretch goals we did for Oz in the last one was we had a black and white artist appreciation book. We've never done this before. You're going to get a full-size 20-page black and white line work done by Carlos Reno, and that's a free stretch goal. You're getting a free comic book just as part of this thing, and it's very, very limited. We had 600 and some change backers. A lot of those were digital, so those guys aren't getting backers, aren't getting stretch goals. But there's really only about 600 of these things that are going to get made, and they go out to the backers, and then they're gone. So there's a lot of really great fun. We're trying to level up the stretch goal experience. It's fun to get stickers and poker chips and all that kind of stuff, but we kind of really want to figure out a way to level up the stretch goal experience so that you guys are really getting something exciting, as well as all of the fun little knickknacks.
And it's very cool whenever you get it, and it's a very immersive experience to be in there, and it's more like a family within the doghouse. Like you said, you get on there on Wednesday nights and everything, have a blast with people there, and then whenever you follow through on all this, it's fun for the most part. I mean, there's a few other words that I can think of that'd be on there at times. Not so much the words I'd use for Jim's kind of campaigns and everything, but it's a lot of fun is what we have on there. And like I said, though, if you don't grab it, though, chances are you will not get a copy of it, especially with people like Smithers out there.
Yeah, and I mean, we're doing artists. We've got Shannon Mayer and Carl Liversidge is a huge addition to what we do right now. We've sold out a couple of his on the Kickstarters. So, if you want this stuff, it's basically Kickstarters are the new convention, right? You got to come in, you got to get your books, and you got to get them in a hurry, because you may not get them when the convention is done. Exactly.
And you've already said, of course, this is the 10-year anniversary of Oz, is this year. Next year, we're looking at, it's going to be the Werebear is going to be next year. And I know there's already
Versa Minor. Yep.
Yeah, there's a few of them over there already that are like, oh, they're just chomping at the bit waiting for that one. But, I mean, each one has been great. And now we're seeing, of course, the videos you were doing today of boxing up Critter 10-year anniversary to send out, which we cannot wait to get a hold of on that one, because that's the foundation. That's the first and foremost right there, and then it builds off of that, is the way we look at BDI with that. And we've got all these other ones coming in and all these anniversaries going through. It just seems like BDI is not stopping. It's just getting more of a head of steam, even though conventions stopped for the most part, for a long period of time and everything. They're slowly starting to open back up, but you kept getting that head of steam going on Kickstarter.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta commit to it and just dive all the way in as best you can. I mean, obviously everybody's situation is different, but um, last year we just went full steam. Everybody was like, "You can't do this. You can't do this. COVID's happening. All this stuff." And I'm just like, "No, man, we're going full steam." And we went full steam. And the first one we did as COVID hit was Princesses versus Zombies, and we had like 630 backers on that campaign. So. You just got to keep going. You just got to keep making it happen. And the more you can do in a consistent basis versus jumping around like this title, that title, that title, the more you can be like issue 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the more you'll be able to organically grow your fan base.
Exactly. And not only the ones that you've already been working on, but something else that you started just last year that skyrocketed, and we're about to see that one again. That's the next thing I want to talk about is this right here, and we actually have a reveal to show you tonight for one of the covers, is World Goth Day. And this actually skyrocketed a lot more than I think people understood that it was going to. And as I understood, you sold out the first time that you did it, wasn't it?
We sold a lot of them. Well, we sold out of all the foils. I mean, it was a weird thing. So what we did is on Goth Day last year, it's May 22nd. May 22nd is World Goth Day, and that's every year. So it just moves, so it doesn't matter where it is. It's the 22nd is World Goth Day. So last year we just did a bunch of covers, and we modified the characters to be goth style dress and so on. So you had Scheherazade, you had Ursa Minor, you had Dorothy Gale, you had Mary Magdalene, and then you had what you're seeing here, which is Catnip. And originally, Catnip was just going to be Critter as a goth character. But when I started to design her, along with Lorenzo Lozana, incidentally, she won Best New Character Design of 2020 last year as well. So this was a huge character that everybody has really latched onto. I realized that based on the Critter story and the parallel dimensions that exist already within her story, we could actually just make a goth Critter within an alternate universe. And so that is where Catnip came from. And so what we did is we released these on Goth Day, as well as foil covers, holofoil covers. The holofoil covers were only available on day 1 on Goth Day. And so when Goth Day was over, that next day, I think it was like Friday, and then so Saturday they were gone. And then we did some prints for the characters and so on. So we had a cool little setup. If you guys missed Goth Day, we do have a handful of the regular editions left. They're limited to 100 copies. They were not done on Kickstarter. This was just something that we just did on the web store. We just said, hey, here's a thing. We're just having some fun with it. But it is the first appearance of Catnip. And then, of course, that led us to Comic Unity and the spin-off comics that we did late last year, which was the actual first full appearance. Bear with me. It's here somewhere. I should have had it ready. The first actual story appearance of Catnip, along with Cyrus and Might by C.B. Zane and Wendy Singh Shaner. So Goth Day led into this book with her first story, and then this story leads directly into what we're doing with World Goth Day this year, which is not just covers, but an actual full-size story, a goth story that literally creates a new universe where Catnip, Scheherazade, Ursa Minor, and whoever else we want to exist together, which doesn't happen in our regular other books because they're all different worlds, they're different time periods. One takes place in Oz and so on. But in this goth universe, there's no rules. You'll find out why when you read the story. And so, so we're diving in and doing this thing. C.B. Zane is doing the interiors. I am really busting my ass to try and find unique visuals for this book that for him to do. I'm really trying to be very descriptive in what I want, in how I want it to appear. Like you can see those musical notes in the campaign or in the panels there. All of that is there for a purpose. It's really, really designed to be hyper visual, even more so than what we did with the book from Spinoff Comics. This is a evolution of the character of Catnip, an evolution of the storytelling, an evolution of the visual element, and CB is destroying this book, guys. When you see this book, you're going to be absolutely blown away. I can't even tell you how excited I am to see every time he turns in a page. I'm like, God damn, that's good. This is going to be an amazing book. So yeah. So Goth Day, this will be a very quick Kickstarter at the end of May 22nd. It's going to be like maybe a week long, because the book's basically going to be all done by the time we launch it. So we'll be taking the Kickstarter, doing the surveys a couple of weeks later, and then sending the book out. So it's going to be a really, really fast turnaround. And we already have some ridiculous cover artists on this thing too.
Very cool, because that's what I was fixing to ask too. I mean, I know you're not ready to announce cover artists, of course, yet. It's not in your style to do that. You like to wait until about a week ahead of time and then start announcing. But
we start to do teases, and really right now I don't want to do it because we need to focus on Oz. That's up next.
Right.
That's the big one, so that's where we have to start. But as we're leaking through the Oz campaign, and as we get to the end of April and into the beginning of May, we'll start giving you way more goth teases as well. Yeah.
Excellent. I mean, that's what we're looking forward to as well, because like you said, it's an ongoing story. So if you got World Goth Day first and foremost, that's great. If you got Comic Unity, which if you didn't, I don't understand why you didn't, but you should have.
And if you didn't, you can get them. You can get them from me. You can get them from Wendy. You can get them from CB. This is the standard book. We all have these. All of the variant covers, though, guys, I mean, they're basically gone. They're basically gone. We had a big sale on them the last week. We had about 20 to 25 of most of them. We're down to about half of those. So if you don't have the variants, move quickly. But if you want the standard editions, we purposely overprinted these because this is just the standard regular cover. And we know we want to be able to get those out to people when we start doing cons and stuff again.
And that's cool because that'll give them the foundation going into World Goth Day and continuing that on. But like you said, you want to go ahead and concentrate on Oz for now because you've already got the plan of that comes out next, and then of course in October you'll hit it again with more momentum on there.
Yep.
But now after World Goth Day, just whenever you think you might have a little bit of a break and enjoy life a little bit and everything, you've got a partnership with a certain gentleman. I'm sorry, there's a tickle in my throat every time I use that with him. That was in the comments that he may or may not still be here about this Camp Rad Dog. And I wanted to go ahead and give us some time to actually delve into this because there's been a lot of fun on the page. And I'm going to tell you right now, all of the feeds, all of the links are embedded in the feeds on everything that's playing right now. Go to see more, click on that, and you'll see all the links on there, including Camp Rad Dog. If you are not joined up on that page, do so. If you're joined up, I want you to share it out to everybody call them out there, garbage man, whoever. Share it out to as many people as you can. Get them involved in this so that they can find out what's happening, because this is not an event. Like, it's not going to be set up and then all of a sudden it happens next week and it's over and done with. This is something that it's already been transpiring for a couple of months at least, and then building up from there. And now we're fixing to get into the culmination of it in June, July is what we're looking at.
Early July launch. We don't have a date yet because we're kind of monkeying around with the whole 4th of July thing. We don't really know how that's going to work out, but early July, within the first 10 days of July, we will launch it. But this is something Jim and I, this isn't a couple of months. We've been working on like badges for the last couple of months. We've been working on this whole thing since like October, when it was kind of a joke. And we just kept talking about it. We just kept talking about it. We just kept talking about it. And suddenly it was real. And it's like, oh, well, why don't we just go ahead and do this? And if we do this, what is it? How does it work? What's the hook? And so on and so on and so on. And so Jim and I have been behind the scenes for months tinkering with the whole idea of this whole thing. And we finally got it organized in kind of January-ish. And we were like, okay, so this is when we're going to do it. This is how it's going to work. These are some of the bonuses we're going to do, which are the badges that David Fought's designing for us. And off we go. And we already have people working on art for it, trying to get way ahead, because again, we want the book to be basically done by the time we get there, so that we can do a quick turnaround, do the campaign in July, have it finish at the end of July, a couple of weeks of surveys, a few weeks of printing, and suddenly we're shipping the book in like September-ish is the goal, October at the latest.
Nice, very nice. Now, of course, David Fought's in here saying Camp Rad Dog, and he is the one who is actually designing the badges, correct?
Yep. David is designing the badges. We have our 6 primaries that we know we're dealing with. We might add more as we go, but for right now, we know we need the 6. Those are basically all done. So yeah. Good job, Dave. We put him through the ringer on those things. It was like, no, change colors, no, put it back, old colors, no, and finally we got them all done, and now it's on to, really focusing on the story, the art for that. My book's already underway. I already have the first, 5 or 6 pages done. Jason Hay here is doing my interiors. He's also the guy who's been doing a lot of the counselor promos that you'll see on the Camp Rad Dog page. So all of that art is him. He's doing the interiors of the book as well. He's got a really nice, fun style that fits this concept really well. So it should be a good time.
Now, you've already announced, I believe, one of the counselors is officially announced, but you haven't announced anyone else yet, but that is coming very soon, correct?
Yeah, Morgan Bailey, we announced when we had we reached the 100 mark, 100 campers on the site. We went ahead and just let her get the shout out. We have 2 more so far that are joining us. They will be part of a campfire meet and greet on April 1st, Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern time. We'll have Morgan, and we'll have the other 2 counselors that are already signed up for us. We're definitely open to having more counselors join what we're doing. So if you're a cosplayer and you want to come have some fun, you're welcome to hit me or Jim up, and we can see what we can do about it. But April 1st, counselors report to camp, and we will be doing that Thursday night.
Hey, just saying, the whole official, unofficial camp chaplain thing is still, I'm ready and waiting right here. Demon Phil reporting for duty.
Yeah, Trudy wanted to be the camp photographer. I was like, Trudy, it's all online. What are you going to do? Take screenshots? Like, what's happening here? I don't understand. So, yeah.
Now, the cool thing, just to kind of give the concept of what we're looking at for Camp Rad Dog, is it's going to be 2 different campaigns. It's not going to be an all-inclusive, okay, you can go ahead and now you got to pick this cover and this cover to get the 2 different stories and go. It's 2 different campaigns, correct?
Yeah, it'll be two campaigns launched simultaneously, same time, same day, for the same amount of time. The books, while it's a crossover with the publishers, the stories themselves are separate. So Jim's going to tell his story, and I'm going to tell my story. The theme, though, is the same. It's basically our universe's characters, essentially going to summer camp. And then he'll have his story, and I'll have my story. Where the crossover happens, though, is during the course of the campaign, one of the weeks, I think it's week 3. I think it's week 3. We will have add-ons for the campaign on each campaign, but they will be crossover covers. They'll be connecting covers. So, like, for example, we'll do a swimming cover, right? And it'll be one of Camp Retro's characters, one of Camp Crossover's characters, both swimming, both by the same artist, and you can buy individually from each campaign. You do not have to buy both. You can buy whichever one you want, but they will be designed to also connect together. That's where you get the sort of the camp Olympics crossover element is the crossover covers that will connect together. So that's where that's going to come in. And then the badges, the way the badges will work is basically they're focused around those covers, and the idea of backing both campaigns, because we want to spread the fan base both directions. So if you go in and you buy Jim's swimming cover and you buy my swimming cover, you just earned the swimming badge, and so that'll be essentially like a stretch goal type of thing. But it's you've earned the badge because you've bought both covers. So when you get your books, you'll also get your swimming badge. Archery, same thing. You buy both archery books, you've earned the archery badge, and so on. Anyone at the beginning of the campaigns, when we first launch, if you back both campaigns at any point during the campaign, it doesn't matter what it is. If you back both campaigns during the campaign, you'll earn the teamwork badge, and you'll get the badge for that too. So that's the gist of it. Really, is two campaigns. You can go whichever way you want. There is no obligation to do both, but both will advertise each other and market each other, and then they'll come together for some special elements towards the end of the campaign.
Very cool. And Jack, I'm over here biting my tongue the whole time because, yeah, I want to do that whole thing about badges. We don't need no stinking badges, but yeah. We do need some stinking badges. These sound like fun. I mean, this is something that's totally different that, to my knowledge, no one else has done as far as comics this way or this form like this.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely been campaigns that promote each other, and you get something for doing it. Wendy Shaner does it all the time. If you back her campaign and somebody else's, you'll get a trading card or something like that to represent that you did both. So 100% that's been done before, but we're doing it in a way that it crosses over the brands, and then of course you get something highly specific in this capacity, trading cards and stuff or whatever. But we wanted to brand it to the camp idea, the summer camp idea, and so that's where all the patches came in, and sort of all the themes of everything that we're going to do. So when we have our camp counselors, we call them the cosplay counselors. They're going to come in. They'll be part of our live shows that will be exclusive to the Camp Rad Dog page. Another reason to join Camp Rad Dog. The meet and greet on Thursday will be happening on the Camp Rad Dog page. It will not be anywhere else. It will only be on the Rad Dog page. So please come join that and have some fun with us and the counselors and the entire group of people. I think there's 123 that have signed up so far, which is great. Very organic too. This isn't a situation where we're like invite. It's just like, no, it's just here's what it is. We share it out. People are like, oh, that's cool, and then they join the thing, and we just have fun with it. Daily announcements in the morning. Just very sort of Meatballs-esque type of goofiness, and all of that should translate into a good time come July, when we actually launch these things and have a book to show you.
And it sounds like a lot of fun. And I may or may not have gone ahead and put the link for the Camp Rad Dog thing in the Meatballs fan page over there, because they were talking about some of the camp stuff coming out this year or whatever, and they just kind of got on the camp thing, and I was like, you know what, perfect place. Told them to come over and have some fun.
I 100% agree. 100%.
Hey, you never know. We might get Bill Murray to go ahead and jump on and see what's going on with the campaign.
Yeah, man. Of course. Of course.
David's asking, are you ready for the summer? Well, yes and no. It depends upon the heat. Of course, I come from Texas where the heat is heat. Here is not so much heat, so I'm good. And Jim is right. The best contest will be the wrestling match. It depends on what wrestling we're talking about. That's getting into more of the gym style stuff over there. I know that up here, I believe Mike had said Violet versus Critter in a swim off. I think that would be a decent competition, except that there's a
we already know. We know 3 of the 5 versus covers are already laid out. We have 2 more that we've got to figure out. Yeah, But they're going to be good. They're going to be good.
It sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun with that, and we're definitely looking forward to seeing what's going to happen. And that's still like there's energy and excitement being built up just, coming up this week. And then you've got, I'm sure you'll have something more before you actually launch on that, but the official launch is somewhere around beginning of July, like you said.
Yeah, early July.
So it'll be a lot of fun with that to go through, and that'll be both campaigns launching at the same time, or how's that going to work?
Yep. We will launch at the same time on the same day. We will end on the same day at the same time.
So someone cannot be number one backer on both of them at the same time.
Highly, highly unlikely.
I know we all kind of
you'd have to be like ambidextrous and have like two computers happening and be like click, highly unlikely.
If it does, there needs to be a special badge for that one. I'm sorry.
Listen, if someone can figure out how to be number one backer on both, I will figure out something to give that number one backer.
Oh, there you go. The challenge is out there. Lewis, I know you did somewhere. Lewis and Russell, well, myself, there's a few of us that try to vie for the number one backer spots. But it's fun to do it. It's not just the competition per se. It's the camaraderie of just joking around with it and having fun.
Oh, of course.
It comes back to being a family and just having fun. And
yeah, and that's what we're going to do here. It's going to be kind of like the Comic Unity thing where there'll be, we did all kinds of panels and stuff with artists and so on. So we're going to have the cosplay counselors come in and they'll kind of have their own shtick that they can do. They'll be able to go live whenever they want. If they want to do a sing-along night, they're welcome to do it. If they want to just come, chat up everybody that's backing, whatever they want to do, they can do. We'll have some specific events lined up to do that. It'll all be done on the Camp Rad Dog page, all of it. So, come join the group. We want you there. This isn't a situation where we just want 1,000 people that aren't doing anything. Right now we have 123 people. The interactions and the views are like, I can't remember what the percent, it was something like 90% interaction of the 123 people that are there on a regular basis. So it's really, really high interaction, which is great. That's the whole point of these things. Don't just join up a thing and then just sit there like a lump on a log, go in, enjoy what's happening. Obviously, we're not telling you that you need to just respond to everything that you see. Of course not. But we also just don't want like 1,000 people just sitting there filling the room doing nothing. It's way more fun to be able to get to know everybody and interact through the memes and through the GIFs and just through the general posts. And then once we're doing the campaign, obviously we'll be able to talk about the books and the artists, and we'll have all of them come on and talk about what they're doing for the campaigns and so on. So it'll just be growing into a kind of a big, like we just talked about, the Kickstarters of the conventions. We're going to have a big old summer camp convention in July. There's no San Diego Comic-Con, guys. You might as well come spend it with us.
Exactly. There's not many cons that are opening up. There's some of the smaller ones, of course, and they're doing it little by little, but you're starting to see, like, you'll see the video of it going on or something, and it's not cons like it used to be. I mean, don't get that misconception in your mind. They're trying, and that's good, within reason, of course, but there's still got to be that presence. There's still got to be that, you've got to have that presence out there and that momentum going, and you either sit back and go, well, I can wait for the cons to come up and go ahead and hit it then and get back to normal that way, or you can create the new standard, which is what most of us are doing with all this. And that's what you've been doing with BDI, which is great because that new standard just hasn't stopped.
Yeah, it's tricky because online cons, quote unquote, whatever those things are, they're very tricky because it's basically just someone turning on their camera and talking. So it's not even a con, it's like a panel, which is fine. It's cool. Here's a panel. We're going to talk to an artist. We're going to talk to a writer, whatever. But that's not a convention. There's not the interaction. There's not the fun. It's hard to reproduce a Comic-Con online. It's very difficult. So we're trying to figure out ways to engage the audience more so than just saying, hey, the Kickstarter's running, go pledge, and okay, we're done. Like we want you guys to be enjoying what's going on while it's happening, and then the anticipation of getting the books. A couple of months later, we want all of that to work together so that the people that are involved in these things are having a good time.
Exactly. I mean, I could not agree more on that end. And Moto Glass says us poor vendors, and yeah, I do agree with that. However, like with Moto Glass being a sponsor on here and doing some things, there are opportunities that are out there for you to get your name out there and your products out there and make some money that way.
Yeah.
I'll give a shout out because he's about to be on a Kickstarter as a tier for shot glasses. How cool is that? That's something new and different that I really haven't seen on too many things out there. It's something different. You never know. I mean, there may be a Big Dog Inc. Something along with lines of glass over there at some point. You never know. The opportunities are always there. So never think that it's just completely closed out. Always look above and beyond where you're already looking. Always expand your horizons on there. But I mean, there's all kinds of companies that are looking at different things on there and different ways of doing things. Yours is working out the direction that you're going with this, and you keep going. You've got the whole year planned out, and then some.
Yeah. The year's plan. I mean, 2022 is already being planned. So, if you're only looking from a creative standpoint, especially with Kickstarters and stuff, if you're only looking at what you're doing now, you're already behind, because you need to be doing what you're doing now, but planning for what's next at the same time. At least whatever is next, if not what's next 2 times down the road, but at least what's next, because what's next will oftentimes dictate what you need to be doing now in order to make what's next work. And that's a piece of the puzzle that a lot of people don't get.
Exactly. Now, with the success of Comic Unity, are we looking at a second round of that possibly in the works?
Not this year. This year, all of us that did it are swamped. And while CB and I are doing World Goth Day, we are also doing late in the year. As soon as Goth Day is done, we're basically going to roll into start doing this. We are doing an Into the Suck Cat Girl of Mars crossover. That will be a legitimate, real publisher crossover. That's his Outpost 426. That's Big Dog Inc. That's a legitimate one-shot crossover book that'll be happening. I'm going to write it. He's going to draw it. And so that will be taking the spot like in September that we did Comic Unity last year. And I know Wendy's got her stuff that she's lined up. So right now there is no specific Comic Unity thing happening. But all of the members of Comic Unity are all doing things, and a lot of it is meshing and blending up together. So we're not using the specific like branding of it, but we're all still doing stuff together. So when we get to, once we figure out like, okay, do we want to do a spin-off comics number 2, and what would be in it, then we can start to be like, okay, let's sort of reboot, reset. Let's get the Comic Unity brand under control and bring spin-off comics number 2 out. It's not an impossibility to do it, but this year there's way too much already on the plate to kind of put a spin-off comics 2 in play.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, you don't want to, overdo yourself on that to where you can't actually produce quality stuff that you've been doing on here. You don't want to go ahead and make it where it's like, well, I'll throw it out there, but it's going to be crap, but I'll at least throw it out there.
Yeah, no, there's no crap. There's no crap. We don't do crap here. We don't, in the immortal words of T'Challa, we don't do that here.
For those of you that are out there that have any of the BDI stuff, if you actually take the cover and open it up, there's stories in there, and they're really good, actually. So the artwork that's on front, that's not all that there is. There's actually more inside. I know it's heresy and sacrilege, but trust me, it's in there.
That's why we make basic books. So if you don't want to open up your expensive variants, you can get your basic book for $9. Get yourself a reader copy. And when we did this, guys, this book is 64 freaking pages. 64 pages. That was $15 to you, and that included your shipping. That's free shipping. So basically, you're looking at a $10 book that's 64 pages. It's amazing. It's amazing. So we always have entry level books for you guys to try things out if you need to try it out. or buy a reader copy so you don't have to bust open the variants.
Now, I also noticed that on Patreon, you've actually gained a few more people on there, so it's actually still growing on there.
Oh, sure.
What are some of the newest things that are on there that you can talk about that people would see on there that they would not see anywhere else?
Oh, I can talk about all of it. I just can't tell you what it is. I mean, basically, Patreon is the backstage of Big Dog Ink. production. So you're getting Goth Day pages, like those pages that we showed. They're on there, but there's more on Patreon. The covers are there. All the Oz covers are going to start filtering in there in full form. The Goth Day stuff, the camp stuff is being shown off. People have been given opportunities to name characters as part of the thing. You guys get to vote. Here's this new character for Oz. Here's the 5 names. You guys pick, and it ended up being Beauregard. So we have voting options as far as that kind of stuff goes for the patrons. There's stuff on there that no one has seen before. There are projects that I have done that no one knows what they are because they were never released to the public. They were incomplete books that I was working on while Penny for Your Soul was being developed, while Critter was being developed, and they were just like the early days of Tom when he was making comics, but they were never ever released. And so you guys get to see those types of things. You can kind of see some of the evolution of this is where Tom was and where things grew until we got Penny and Critter rolling. So there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that's a lot of fun. If you like being involved in the creation process, watching how logos are made, character designs are made, starting at pencils all the way to colors, you get to watch the steps happen. and that's what the Patreon is. We've got 34 people right now. We just picked up somebody a few days ago. Once we get to 50, that will be the founding 50. Everyone then will get a founding 50 pin. Everybody that is part of the founding 50 will get discounts wherever they're buying things, whether it's cons, whether it's live shows, all that kind of stuff. So we have 16 more people to get to the founding 50. And then also every 6 months, all backers, doesn't matter what level you're at, there's a $5 level, a $10 level. Every 6 months, which means we'll be coming up on the next one in July. Every 6 months, you'll be getting a free variant comic book of some sort. We've done one for Critter. We have done one for, oh my God, I don't remember what we've done them for. We did one for Critter. We did one for, you got them. What the hell were they? I don't even remember now. My head is like so.
For some
we've
reason,
done two. We've done two.
One. Yeah, I didn't get the second one for some reason. I was going to get with you on that.
Done two. The first one was Critter. The second one was Scheherazade. Yeah, the second one was Scheherazade. It was a Mike Chrome Scheherazade that we did. So we had last July-ish. That was our first 6 months. The second 6 months was December, January. So that's when that went out. That book is probably, well, I don't know. I'll have to look in that pile of stuff you got because I'm assuming it's in there, but maybe not. I'll have to figure that out. And so then in July again, it'll be 6 months, and whoever's part of the group at that 6-month period, you guys will get a variant cover then too. So we do that every 6 months in addition to that. Also, there are Patreon perks for Kickstarters. So if you are a Patreon member and you back our Kickstarters, you're going to get a little bonus item there as well. So there's all kinds of stuff going on, and we've done some stuff in the past where you guys are given Patreon offers first on books. We did a 10-year anniversary set of books last year for Critter and Penny for Your Soul. We had foil covers made that were available to the patrons only. They're gone now. So if you missed them, that's it. They're gone. There were 10 made, 10 of each, because they were 10-year anniversary. So those are gone. But we do that as well. So all kinds of stuff happens on the Patreon. Just go join.
Exactly. And on top of that, always keep an eye on the website, bigdogink.com. There's stuff on there that's available and all. We've talked about Camp Rad Dog. If you want to show your support, go over there. There's a T-shirt there right now that's got Critter on there with the logo that Tom's wearing right now.
Yep. Yeah, the
I
Critter promo is available on the Big Dog site. It's the only one right now because we're having a weird thing with the T-shirt people. But we're going to do some more merch. But right now, that one is available if you guys want it. It's available in black or white. You can get basically any size you want because it's all print on demand. So feel free, run over, get yourself a Critter shirt.
Yeah, definitely. Show your support on that. Have some fun with the camp that way. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on with BDI, a lot of stuff going on this year. We've talked about that and everything. We're going to get to the meat and potatoes right now because it's sitting right behind on the screen behind us is the Godzilla versus Kong. You knew we were going to talk about this a little bit because I already had someone mention, and I think it was Rob Schiff coming here and said, doesn't Tom have a date at midnight with the Godzilla movie? So
in the old days, maybe, but because of COVID and everything, the showings are limited. So the first showing here tomorrow is at 4 p.m. So I have tickets for 4 p.m. and I have tickets for 7 p.m. tomorrow. So I'll be seeing it twice tomorrow, and then I'll be back after that for the Doghouse on the Comic Book Shopping Network.
I'm looking forward to seeing what you have to say about it on this one because I know this is something that you literally for 40 days out have watched nothing but kaiju style movies leading up to this.
Yep, all the Godzilla movies, the Kong movies, some weird side stuff that you guys have never heard of. Yeah, it's a good time. It's a fun genre of movies. It's not for everybody, but if you just want to sit back and have some fun, that's what these things are all about. And I don't expect anything but fun out of this movie. I don't know Adam Wingard like at all. I have no concept of what his movies are, so there's no preconceived idea of what we're going to get here. But based on the trailers and based on the early overseas numbers, it's already made $120 million or something overseas. We should be in good shape. It's not going to make a crap ton of money just because of COVID. I mean, there's a lot of states that don't even have theaters open, but it is on HBO Max too. So if you guys can't get to a theater, you'll be able to get it on HBO Max. So HBO paid $250 million right off the top to get it. So they're already with that 250 and the 120 they've made overseas. They're already almost at the equivalent of what they made for the last Godzilla movie in theaters. So I'd say they're doing fine.
Yeah, exactly. Now that is something that being that you do the movie shows and stuff like that too, is you kind of briefly got into that about HBO Max having this and it's streaming and theaters not being open as much because I know even where I am right now, theaters are just not open at all.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like they're going to open. It looks like they're actually shutting down. So this may be the new standard that we're going into as well as going more into streaming than it is in theaters.
You're going to see a lot of equal time releases. It's going to be anyone who's got theaters open, they're going to open it to the theater. If you don't have it open, you can get HBO or whatever it is that they happen, Disney Plus or whatever they happen to release it on. So it's going to be a new normal. It's just like the new normal for comics. If there's no cons, what are you going to do? And we figured that out pretty quick. They're realizing now that there's value in streaming, and they're going to make use of it. I mean, that's just the way it is. But in most cases, these types of movies are going to be released in both places. This isn't a situation where, we're never going to see an Avengers movie on the big screen again. No way. They're going to always put that stuff on the screen. But it is a change of the guard, and there might be elements of the theater that have to change in order to sort of compete with staying at home and eating popcorn for 50 cents versus, eating popcorn for $4 a bucket. They're going to have to modify their system, just like we had to modify it with comics. The theaters are going to have to change. They're going to have to change the experience of what's going on. We've already lost a lot of theaters. They're closed. They're just bankrupt. They're gone. Whether or not someone's going to buy them up and use them again, who knows? But I think a lot of theaters are going to be very, very specific on the movies they carry. It's not going to be a lot of rom-coms and stuff at the theaters anymore because that stuff doesn't matter if it's on the big screen. It's not relevant. event movies need to go on the big screen, but the next, Julia Roberts movie or whatever, that you can just watch that on HBO. It doesn't. There's no change in effect, really. I mean, a little, but not really. So I think there's just a lot of system changes happening right now, and who knows where it's all going to play out. But I will always go and see a Godzilla movie in the theater before I ever worry about, as long as I can. I mean, literally, I was planning my escape out of Michigan. Like, if they were going to close the things, I was like, all right, well, is Indiana got a theater? I will make the trek and just spend the weekend down there and see it 6 times and then come home. But we're open, and it's not a huge theater. It's not like an IMAX here. I'd have to go into Grand Rapids for that. But I've been to this theater enough, and it's super local and super convenient. So it'll be fun.
Sounds like a lot of fun with that, and definitely looking forward to this one. And they're popping out, one a month of the big movies that are coming out there. So it's going to be a lot of fun on HBO Max, seeing what's available. And then now there's movies that are being re-released to theaters that are open, which is really cool. So you're seeing some that you haven't seen.
Yeah, did you see that bullshit? Oh my God, they re-released Avatar, and so it retook the all-time lead away from Endgame. That was hysterical. Exactly. That was hysterical. Oh my God.
Exactly. That's what I couldn't believe that, because I was like, okay, wait a minute, they lost the lead, and that was okay, and they were okay with it, and everything was fine. And they just had to have that one little push where they come out there and just pop right over, just barely.
Well, they didn't lose it by much. And the funny thing, though, is that Avatar got to that point. It had been released again like 3 times. Endgame's been out 1 time.
Yep.
So, whatever, grain of salt. But again, they're trying to push that Avatar because the sequels are coming out, I guess, next year or something. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's going on, but like we said, it's all about just going ahead and getting your presence out there and doing what you can to go ahead and get it out there. And like we've already talked about with BDI, it's already done that. It continues to do that. And you're not planning on stopping anytime soon. You're already planned out into 2022. And knowing you, it won't take long before you're planned out into the next year following after that, as soon as you start getting, ahead of steam behind you.
Oh, yeah. Once we get to the end of this year, we're looking at 2023. So, that's just the way it's got to go. I mean, that's the 10-year anniversary of Scheherazade. I mean, it just keeps going. But along the way, we'll be dropping out new stuff. We want to get back to Kaiju Epic. We want to get back to Lights, Camera, Jungle. We want to get back to Antoinette. So, we might do some stuff where, maybe we don't do Goth Day every year. Maybe next year, instead of Goth Day, we'll do an Antoinette book or something, whatever it happens to be. But, some of that's driven by the fan base. I know that people want more Princess versus Zombies. So we have to figure out how to get that book back as well. Where to drop it into these schedules, or, how to do it. Because when you have 11 freaking titles and people want them all, it's like, well, Christ, guys. I mean, there's only so much time. There's one guy writing all of this stuff. But we're building, and that's the thing that we're building. I mean, right now the infrastructure is working. The goal was to have Oz shipping by April. We will do that 100%. We're about a week behind where we wanted to be, but we're still going to ship it in April while the next campaign is happening. And then again, the same thing. The goal will be to ship that as we are doing Camp Rad Dog. Then we'll ship Camp Rad Dog right before we launch Oz in October, and then that will ship right before or during the launch for Ursa Minor in January. So that's the goal, is to be shipping these things as the next one hits. And so far this year, everything's on basic target. So yeah.
Now, talking about presents and everything, you've got, of course, your other show that you do, which is Scene 1, Take 3, which was formerly known as the Movie Guys. But
but until we found out that 8,000 other people are also the Movie Guys, so we just rebranded it. Scene 1, Take 3. There's 3 guys doing it, so you get 3 different individual takes on the whatever it is we're talking about. We do that now every Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern time. It's myself, Jim Noble, David Faught. We do have the occasional guest. We had Wesley Ure on a couple weeks ago, talking Land of the Lost. That was freaking amazing. We had Adam Marcus from Jason Goes to Hell, director of Jason Goes to Hell. He was our first guest. He came on. He was freaking amazing. So we have some other guests kind of in the pipeline that we're working on. I don't know when it will happen, but we are still always reaching out to people. So we might have some surprises from time to time.
And just to make it official, I think we made it official on the last Unscripted, but since Jim and I are kind of like the co-host, he's the co-host and I'm the host on there, and we kind of work it all together, you have gotten into that as well. So officially, you are into that as well. So whether you like it or not, you're officially labeled with Unscripted now. So I don't know if that's a positive or a negative. Take that as you want.
So I've made it. I'm retiring now. I'm done. I'm out. I got my label, and now I'm done.
Well, normally Tom would go ahead and send a message beforehand and be like, so do you need me on this week? Or, is there an opening this week? Now I get these messages of who's on with us? Who's on with us?
Who else is on? That's how you do it. That's how you do it, guys. That's the secret. You just be a pain in the ass. You stop asking if they need you and just start asking who else is going to be there, because obviously I'm there. And it worked.
Now, it's a lot of fun. You've got a lot going on with everything that you're working on and working with other people on. And you give other people other shots in there. Like you said, David Fott has a big one on there. You gave him a shot with Big Dog Inc., and it's working out very well. I mean, it worked out so well that he got a bionic eye. I mean, you can't get any much better than that.
That's right. That's right.
But he's doing very well. You've got a bunch of other people that are on there. You'd mentioned Brian Peterson doing some more on Oz, which I am definitely looking forward to on my end, especially because I got his stuff on the first one.
You guys are going to freak out when you see what he's doing. You're going to freak out.
I'm looking at my wallet right now, and it's like crying right now. They're tears sweeping right out of the leather.
I'm just going to say this, and I'll let you all figure it out. You guys remember what he did for Princess Day, right?
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
Oh, wow.
You guys are going to freak out. It's going to be so good.
Okay. All right, I'm good. Yep.
And then he'll be back. He's doing our secret Blue Jay project. He'll be back doing some Blue Jay behind the scenes. And then I'm letting him off the leash. He's going to go do a cover for Jacob Stem. I talked to Jacob about that, and I was like, "Yep, we can slide you in right there." And then Brian will be back for his camp cover. And then he'll be back to more Blue Jay stuff and so on. So yeah, I'm keeping him very, very busy.
Exactly. And Shawnee could not be more right on that. I'm excited, broke, but excited. Yeah, exactly. I haven't gotten it yet, but I'm already broke and excited. I already know this.
So remember, we don't do the crazy batshit pricing on our books, guys. One of the things that we did is we modified our pricing as best we could. To be as accessible as possible, especially if you want everything, because there's so many times you have these crazy Kickstarters that are like, oh yeah, spend like $800 and get it all. It's like, fuck no. So we try and make it very, very, very easy, very accessible for anyone. If you want to come into the campaign, it's $9, includes your shipping. You can get a book. It's as simple as that. If you want a variant cover, they're going to be about $25, and that again includes your shipping. So, it's very, very easy to get in, grab the book you want, or books if you want multiple, and we're not going to break your bank. We want backers coming in and being excited and happy about what they're getting and not worrying about the purse strings.
Exactly. And, Jack is saying Tom doesn't do the crazy batshit pricing, but he also has so many books that still doesn't matter. That's one thing that does make it does make a difference. I will say this, because going on your campaigns, there are so many choices, and you're just looking at it going, I wish I could on every single one, but you have to pick and choose and kind of move around. But also the burlesque marketing. I mean, I respect you for what you do on that, and I'm trying to learn more and more from that. Exactly. Yes, I saw your post earlier today about that. But your burlesque marketing is one of those things that I'm looking at going, I have budgeted, and I know how much I'm going to do on this one. I know what I'm going to do. I got this. And then Tom comes out the next week and goes, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was done. Hang on. I got more. And it goes all the way through until the end of the campaign. And I'm just looking at it going, all right, just here, take it. Just take it.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm telling you right now, there's going to be add-ons for the camp book. It's going to start slow burn, but it's going to get interesting as we go. So just be ready for anything with that campaign, because even now, while we kind of have it situated, we're still always kind of like, okay, what about this and what about that, and so on and so on. So yeah, just be ready for anything, and but ultimately, just be ready to have a good time, because that's the whole point. It's this event is meant to give you a little more for what it is. I mean, you're coming in, you're spending money on Totally Rad. You're coming and spend money for Big Dog. We want to give you quality content back within the book, but also just within the context of all of these kinds of things. We want to try and level some things up and have some engagement with you guys as I don't know, bonus content for your time. Is, we want to show you guys that we appreciate it. We want to have a good time with you while this is all going on. And that's half the battle right there.
Exactly. Tom, I could keep you on here all night, and I know you're used to doing very long lives on my show in the past before, but we're not doing that tonight. That was Chuck's fault, not mine. I'm still sticking by that one. 6 hours. Wow. But we're going to go ahead and cut this one off tonight. We've gotten to know a lot more about what's going on with all this. We're excited about Oz. I know we all are about that, is the first and foremost. And then, of course, right afterwards, we got World Goth Day. We'll be talking more about that as it comes about. I know that already. 12 times you've been on here. I'm pretty sure 13th time will be sometime around the World Goth Day thing, if I'm not mistaken. We're probably looking around there. So we'll have some fun with that one. So, Jim, if you're keeping track, that's 12 this time, and it'll be 13 on the next one he comes on. Just letting you know, in case you're losing track on that. We got to give Jim hell. But I appreciate you being on here again, return guest. Having a lot of fun getting to know everything that's on here, getting to know the information behind Big Dog Inc. Everybody get over there to bigdoginc.com. Look and see what's available. See what's on there that is on the listing that's available right now, because you blink and those things are gone. But get those T-shirts as well, and start showing your support for Camp Rad Dog, because it's coming out. I would love to see a sea of people showing up on doing posts all over the place, wearing the T-shirts, just having fun with this, because we're not going to camp. I don't think any of us would last at a camp. So the best thing we can do is a virtual camp and have some fun with this. So that's the way you do it. So until then, Oz launches next week. Don't miss out on that bad boy. I'm going to try to be backer number one. I don't care what Lewis and Russell think on that one. I'm trying for mine, and then we'll see what happens. But have some fun, get on there, and support the indies is the best thing you could possibly do. Tom, I certainly appreciate you being on here tonight. If you want to hang out backstage, I'll come back there in a minute. I'm going to do my closing statements.
You got it. Thanks for having me again. I appreciate it.
All right, so we had 12-time returning guest Tom up here tonight. Now, I give Jim a lot of hell about this, but that's okay. He deserves it, because he gives us hell on a lot of stuff too, which is fine. But the 12-time thing, the reason I bring that up, and this is my closing statement as a part of this, is because whenever I first started doing this, believe it or not, this is just over a year anniversary for me doing this. I think 2 weeks ago, no, last week actually was my 1 year anniversary of doing this. Whenever I first started with some guests and everything on there, I was kind of terrified. And then I landed Tom Hutchison as being a guest. And I even made a quirky video on my thing that said I'm doing my research, trying to get ready for my guest and everything. I was terrified, to be honest, to be very, very honest. Tom has been in the business and is a foundation member, within the business and everything, knows what he's doing, knows what he's talking about. And if I would have gotten him on the show and not done my part to get him up there, it would not have been a good show for me nor him. So my point is, throughout all of these shows that I've done for this entire year and moving forward, I always try to do my research to make sure that I give the best show possible, to make sure that they have the best exposure possible on there. Jim, don't say a word. It's all about giving them their time up here and letting them have the voice that they may not have in some other areas. Now, everyone out there has different venues and different circles they hang out in, and they're able to go ahead and get their voices out there. But maybe it takes just a little bit more to get a little bit more of a voice out there, to get to 1 or 2 more people who can start sharing it out, and then you get that ripple effect. And you already know where this is leading to, because this is that same closing I've got on every single show, but it means so much to me and apparently to quite a few others out there. You throw a pebble in a pond, you get a ripple. You throw enough pebbles in the pond, you get the waves of change. So 2021 is the year of the waves of change. Wait till you see what's coming about with all this. So until then, we'll see you next time. Thursday, this Thursday, April Fool's Day. And David Fott is still in here. Good. David Fott will be my guest on April Fool's Day. We have a super special announcement to do. Reveal, announcement, whatever you want to call it. It's all kinds of big. It will start up a huge thing on there you do not want to miss. You do not want to miss. If you do happen to miss it and you watch later on, or you jump in later on or whatever, that's fine. But it would be best if you can do it live if possible. We shall see how it goes with that. But yeah, we've got some fun and some announcements going on there. But David is back in a big way. I cannot express that enough, and we're going to be going over that. And he and I are working on something. I didn't say that out loud. So on that, I'm going to leave it. As I appreciate everyone for being here. Thank you all for supporting me throughout the year. Got a lot more planned out than y'all could ever imagine coming up. And hey, I appreciate it, and keep it into y'all.